Hey, Macklemore, can we go thrift shopping?
What?
Number 17 of DeathPiles and Taxes. What do you know, D-Roy?
I know that episode 17 of DeathPiles and Taxes is starting right now, coming at you. Ka-chow!
Hitting hard.
I know that somebody in this room just got a brand new to them house.
Yes, sir. We're moving. In fact, we got to get this podcast going on. Might as well. You started it out. Hey, when we're done with this, you can come over to help me move a few things.
Just a few things. I've helped you move a few things before. I know how that goes.
Yeah, that was a couple years ago. So
yeah, we can always run over and lift a few items.
Perfect. Well, I want to try something new. I got some constructive criticism about our podcast.
Okay. Well, before I was just going to mention to everyone that you bought a celebrity's house.
Don't tell everyone.
Former celebrity.
Don't say we bought Gary Coleman's. You're already side bending this.
Okay. Well, I didn't have to say it then. I just.
False news.
That's not what the neighbors were telling me.
Yes,
I came over to visit you.
That is not
They
true.
said, you know who used to live here? And I said, no.
Not true.
And you're the one that said the name.
Anywho's, not true. Okay, got some constructive criticism.
All right.
My brother,
Uh-huh.
love the guy to death.
Shout out to you, brother.
Yes, and the best thing about him, you know what he does like me? Tells it like it is.
Straight shooter?
Straight shooter. Well, now I'm going to give him a little something. I mean, hey, we've been doing this for 2.5 months now, and this is the first time you've given the criticism. Thanks a lot, pal.
First time he's probably listened.
I know. I could have listened a long time ago. Anyways, he says, you guys ramble on and BS for 35 minutes, and then you finally get into the meat of what you're doing.
Welcome to the show.
Exactly. He says, why don't you hook them the first 5 minutes, give them away so they can make more money, and then ramble.
Because I have to shoot it straight from the hip of my brain. From my lips to God's ears, my friend.
All right, so we're 2 minutes in. We're going to do that because we had a good week.
All right.
We've blown Waddy right out of the pool, man.
You've blown him out of the water?
We're like $615.
In the week?
Yeah, well, in our last, since we started.
Okay.
Well, we did have like 325 this week.
Well, what happened? What went down?
All right, so everybody remembers the Ronald McDonald mat. And if you don't, my son found a Ronald McDonald car mat at the local thrift store. Really, really cool. And you suggested?
I said, you go ahead and you put that thing on auction. Let the market tell you how much they want to pay for it.
Because it was a unique item. There wasn't a lot on there. So what we did is we did the auction. Great. Cost us $18 to list the item because our reserve price was $250. You know what we forgot to do?
You forgot to... I don't know.
We said U.S. shipping would be taken care of, but that doesn't mean that we excluded outside of the country shipping.
Yeah, there's people outside the U.S. that might want that item. I'm taking it.
Well, a guy in Japan is apparently... Well, he's the guy who won it. The problem is after he won it, we're like, how are we going to ship this to Japan?
Yeah, that's always the wake-up moment when you're like, wait a minute. That doesn't look like somewhere I'm familiar with.
No. So here's a hot tip. If you want to make more money, you have to increase your sales base. And there's a really, really easy way to do that, and that's the global shipping option.
Yeah, global shipping program.
Yes. We're new to this, new to us. And essentially what that allows you to do is we were only responsible to ship it to Kentucky.
Yep.
And thank you to you. We were texting back and forth. It was like we were frantically... Well, first off, the auction went awesome. Like, my son was flipping out every time it went up.
That's the weird thing with auctions is they have what's called snipe bids. And so you can go onto a site and say, when there's 10 minutes left, here's my max bet, basically. Okay. So you might get it under that amount, but, you're trying to get it about the last second as possible. Well, if you have 2 or 3 people doing that, and they both say 125, 150, or whatever... When it hits that 10-second, 20-second mark, the thing just skyrockets if it's a good item. If not,
that's exactly
it's not
what
going to do it. So.
Like, it was insane. It was going, 50, 60, 70, and then there's a couple minutes left, and my wife and I are like, oh, man, I don't know if it's going to hit it. Because we put a $250 reserve. Looking back now, I should have put a higher because I think we could have got it. But you never know.
You never know.
So anyways, like, within the last, 20 seconds, guy from Japan, click, $250. I'm like,
there it is.
Shut up! You're kidding me. So that's exactly what happened.
You know how rare McDonald's mats are here?
Obviously, really rare.
Well, say you're a guy that collects McDonald's stuff and you live in Japan.
Yes.
Even more rare, apparently, right?
Correct. So our 5-minute mark hot tip is if you want to increase your base for more people who can see your product, global shipping program. It's so good.
Well, the problem is a lot of people have this fear of shipping internationally because, like you were saying, how do I get it to wherever? How much is that going to cost me? You can set up 2 options. You can have it so that you can ship international, and they can figure out the prices, and you can do the global shipping because some countries aren't in global shipping yet, but a lot of them are. But yeah, the great thing about the global shipping is it gets to that warehouse in Kentucky. It's in good shape. Hey, it's taken care of. Around Christmas time, I was selling a lot of these. They're called Ryan surprise eggs or something like that.
Yeah, your buddy from YouTube.
And they were plastic eggs that were probably about the size of a
football.
Now, they were bigger than a football, but they were just like, those machines that you go put your quarter in and you get an egg at the grocery stores or whatever growing up.
Yeah,
there'd be some crappy toy in there.
Yeah.
This was like a big version of that with a bunch of crappy toys in it, from what I gather.
Great.
But anyways, it's a plastic egg. And so we were buying them for, I think they were about $30, and they didn't have them internationally. So he's a big YouTube star. But people over in Great Britain and Ireland and stuff couldn't get this item. And I mean, there's some around here, people buying them as well. But that was my big draw. I put them on the global shipping program, and I'd give them to Kentucky. They'd ship them over to wherever in the UK. And I had a few that broke and that had damage because they're just a big plastic egg full of
stuff.
Crappy toys. And so to me, it made some kids Christmas to them. But
yes.
I mean, when I saw what was inside of there, I thought, man. People get mad at me about selling junk on the internet. This kid has got this figured out.
Mr. Scumbag.
And so the good thing about it went to global shipping. It went to Kentucky all right because it made it to Kentucky in one piece all right. They shipped the rest of the way. When the people came back to me, I said, you know what? Contact eBay. Let them know it was global shipping. And what happened with that was they got reimbursed or whatever, but I also got to keep the money because it made it to Kentucky.
Yep.
So same thing with this. As long as it gets there, you're home free. So it's a great program to get involved in and get your stuff in.
So there's your brother big tip.
Hey, I got another. Well, we're doing big tips.
Yes.
I have a couple, but we'll start with this one.
So the global shipping, not hard. We figured it out. We called eBay. Shout out to Tim. He was amazing. Walked us through the process.
Oh, Tim.
We didn't know anything about this Sunday night. So
you need to talk. You need to listen to me when I ramble.
I did. Now
like global shipping. It's once you do it.
You don't know
those things. Once you do it, you've done it.
So there you go. You can do it.
Well, yeah. If you have something, why limit yourself to just a U.S. market or even some people? Well, I'll ship to Canada, but that's as far as I'll get. This is the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
I've sold things to Russia, to Germany, to, all over. Peru, some weird places that I've never even thought about going. I'm shipping items to, and a lot of it is through global shipping. And, it's then that way. It's the other thing with global shipping is one of the big things is, so if I ship it to Japan directly, they have import fees, they have taxes that they have to pay, their duty, all that kind of stuff that we don't even have to think about. So it gets caught up in customs. People are wanting money. They're asking you, why do I have to pay more money than what I paid? However, eBay's figured this out. They take care of it. So they pay eBay. All that's figured into it. It actually shows up at their doorstep. It doesn't go to customs. Well, it goes through customs somehow. But it doesn't sit in an office somewhere for them to come pick it up where people... Because some of these other countries have some different practices when it comes to, you already paid your taxes on it. Well, you got to repay and stuff like that. So
there's my hot tip number 1. Global shipping program. You can do it.
GSP, as we call it in the game.
Now I'm a GSP squared pro.
I mean, the other day I was showing your wife how to do some listings, some of my tips and tricks. One of those things was clicking the GSP, get that in the international program.
Apparently I wasn't listening. So there you go, buddy. There's hot tip number 1.
Here's a controversy. People with 0 feedback scores, right?
Ooh.
Do you sell? Ooh. Do you sell to somebody with no feedback?
Yes.
A lot of people don't.
Why not?
They'll try to limit it out, weed out, because they think that this person's not going to pay.
They're brand new. They just heard our podcast.
We've all been there.
Yeah, you got to start out somewhere. It's like saying you got to get a job, but you got to have experience, and you've never had a job.
That's the thing I've never figured out. If you got your money and you have no feedback, I'll still take it.
Yeah.
I don't have a prerequisite of you need to have 10 things so I know that I can trust you or whatever. And yeah, maybe you got some people that don't know what they're doing bidding, and then, well, I don't want to pay now, and you'll have some of that, weed that out, but overall, I've sold plenty of things to people that have had, 1, 2, 0 feedback scores. Some people now, they have it set up so you can go through as a guest, so you'll get some goofy that looks like somebody hit the keyboard with a 0 name,
Yeah.
And it's just they found you on Google and linked to eBay to buy your stuff. I don't know why, but that's always a hot topic, a hot controversy of do you or don't you sell to somebody with 0 feedback.
It's funny you say that, because I did what I said I was going to do. My guess is you haven't yet. I took care of Mother's Day gifts already.
Long taken care of.
Did you buy it on eBay?
I'm not telling you.
Bee Gees?
No, the Bee Gees cassette?
Yeah.
Well, if you mean by cassette, a gold-plated 8-tracks.
Oh.
May or may not have. I'm going to pull a Prumpy there.
There you go. So I took care of my mom's. Bought a nice little something on the eBay.
Sure.
Going into that related question, how do you get feedback? Look at this. The Egbert family out of Lacey, Washington.
Oh, the Egberts.
Appreciate the Egberts. They sent a nice handwritten note.
Yeah, I send a thank you note every time I sell.
You know what I did? I got on there and said, man, 5 stars.
5 stars, A+++++.
They were awesome. So I think that's one way.
Oh, a great way to get feedback, especially if you're new, is like you're saying, buy off eBay.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy anything too expensive. You can go buy some whatever trinkets from me.
Yeah.
And I'll get it to you. I'll give you good feedback. I'll give you automatic feedback right when you pay. So.
Do you have any maybe Utah Jazz memorabilia that I could be getting into?
I got plenty. If you got the money, I got the time. As old Willie
there you go.
used to say.
So that's another tip: is sell to everybody, man.
Well, I mean, and yeah, if you're looking to get feedback, and that is, as a seller, I think 0 feedback's a lot more of a red flag than as a buyer.
Yeah.
Just because you don't want this person to, sit on it and ship it all weird, and maybe it's coming, maybe he's going to get out next week. So, yeah, if you want to build up that reputation, that score, go buy a few things. There's plenty on there. Everybody's always looking for items.
Yeah.
Have it shipped to your door. It's not quite Amazon, but you're supporting a lot of people like you.
So what we got to get at is, I know it's going to be hard to believe, okay? We're at episode 17. We're at 978 downloads.
Ooh, I think this week we'll hit the 1,000 mark.
We're going to hit that 1,000 mark. But our problem is, you know what we're not getting? We're not getting feedback.
Oh.
We're not getting reviews, because I need 60 reviews here pretty quick. We got to the 10. We got the Karl Malone story.
The old PDQ.
But our conversion rate, we'll get into the analytic world, okay? Our conversion rate is like less than 1%, because I think we have like 13 reviews or something. We need more reviews, people.
So you think by not giving them the good story right out the get-go for a half hour and then lecturing them to give you a review is going to do it?
Well, I changed up the format.
I know there's people that are like, wait, I don't want to listen to this show. Where's my funny stories?
Well,
what's this about Adam buying Gary Coleman's house? What's going on?
Easy now. Easy.
Hey, and go back to your house. As I understand, I was trying to lead into somewhere.
Well, I
a
just
little birdie.
I just got a text
at the park. Who I'm going to see tomorrow as I get into my wardrobe, my attire.
Okay.
My crown and what have you.
Sure.
Gerald said he left you a little welcome gift.
Welcome gift, huh?
He said he brought you by a flag as a peace offering, and I hadn't heard anything from you about it.
Was it that good American flag?
He said he dropped you off a flag as a peace offering.
We did find an unusual American flag that didn't have a pole on it, so
if Gerald
brought by, that's the insane part. So Gerald, when you go shooting the lances, because we had to kind of switch up days and times.
He said he felt kind of bad because you guys were kind of going back and forth a little bit, and last week he thought with the message I conveyed with Cole here, he was a little embarrassed that maybe he was too aggressive, and he enjoys your company, and he does want you at the Game of Thrones finale. So he said, I left him a housewarming gift. I hope it was received well. I haven't heard anything back. And I said, Well, I haven't heard anything about a housewarming gift. He said, well, just ask him about it.
You tell the Game of Thrones guys that I'm pretty sure that Luke is his father. I think that's how it goes, right?
That they'll appreciate the fact that you're trying. They'll appreciate that.
Is that the wrong show?
You're the one telling the story. He said it was a flag of peace.
Flag of peace.
Flag of peace.
Well, there you go.
And that it was better than when he went to visit Gary after the Comic-Con. Your house, you've done nice things with it.
So you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
That's what we'd really come here for.
That's what we come here for.
I'm hoping that hot tip didn't push anybody off.
No, that's a good idea. I like opening it up with actually, so people that are looking for this kind of stuff, the eBay advice on the eBay podcast, they actually hear that and think, okay, these guys do know what they're talking about. Then we hook them with the funny stories too. I like that.
You said Comic-Con, okay, and I'm not going to get into too many details because you
had to wear that suit for a long time, but they paid you.
No, well, yes.
Handed out those flyers.
You familiar with the show called The X-Files?
You bet.
Man, apparently somebody that I know, that's old Jillian, that's their cousin.
Really?
That's what I said.
Like first cousin, or are we talking cousin. Like,
nope,
I'm cousins with so-and-so, actually it's my dad's friend's cousin.
No, first cousin.
Somebody you know.
Somebody I know.
Well, let's get her on the pod card.
Well, that'd be lovely. Maybe she sells some stuff on eBay.
Well, I tell you what, I'm figuring out there's more and more people selling stuff on eBay that I'm like, oh, that's surprising.
Well, there you go. So maybe you can lead us in with a little.
Well, we'll throw that in maybe after the commercial because I got something for the start.
Because I love
people
that.
Already heard it.
I love that show because it's all about where I grew up.
Well, you and Gerald, see, you're not so far apart.
Well, aliens, man.
Aliens, and you grew up, Pahrump, Nevada.
I know we've got a whole podcast just about that, but like those things really exist.
Google Art Bell, kids. The Pahrump Desert.
Strange things in the sky, they're real.
So I love this stuff too.
I know. That's
I go off on. We could do a whole probably 20 shows.
We could.
My dad used to have these sales routes, and I've told you we talked a little about it on the show before. He'd go to small farm stores throughout the Intermountain West, right?
Yeah, yes.
And one of them was down. He had a Pahrump stop. Yeah. He had a Vegas, and he'd had. Sometimes he'd go out on these back roads, Tonopah, all these. I'm just saying Nevada towns now, but it was all throughout. Yeah, Tom Stubbs. Kids are proud muckers.
Mighty muckers.
And the Clown Motel that we stayed in with the cemetery next to it.
There was just a story about that.
I know. Well, my dad has all these stories about it that I didn't. Anyways.
Mezpause.
So my buddy Mike Painter and me, when we were like in our early 20s, decided that we'd go for a road trip with Dad because he was going to take us to drop some coins, lose some silver and some machines. And we wanted to go out to Area 51.
So
he said, if you'll go with me, we'll go out through Ely. Mm-hmm. And I think it was Ely. Maybe we went to Vegas and came back through Ely. We went some weird way. Because he had to hit little stores along the way. But one day, we just got up way early, went out to Rachel, to the little alien inn. Yeah. When we're going out there, you're on the extraterrestrial highway.
Oh, yeah, don't stop.
And, you see these little things flying, but this was back before they said there was a base. Now they've said there's a base.
Yeah, I know there's a base.
So we see things flying, and it's military, probably things flying, but we're like, oh, that's weird.
No, not probably.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, it could have been aliens.
Maybe, that's what I'm saying.
So we
don't blow their cover.
We stop at the little alien inn because that's the only place you can stop out there for restrooms.
Yeah, you can't stop on the side of the road.
No, there was people out there camping and stuff off the side of the road, some RVs and stuff. But anyway, so we stop there. And we go in, and we have to use the restroom.
Okay.
So as we walk into the restroom, there's not a big restroom, but there's one or two soldiers in full camel regalia in there using the restroom, and we look at each other like, you've got to be kidding me. Like movie type stuff, and like, I guess it doesn't exist. There's just random military dressed up soldiers in here using the two latrines that we just happened to pass. And then, if you go out close to the base, they have these signs that say, basically, if you come any closer,
they'll shoot you.
We'll kill you. You're not welcome around these parts, and you'll see the jeeps and stuff just kind of border patrolling up on the ridges. And
that's people don't understand, but you know what I would be a little more concerned about? If I saw two guys in like black suits and one of them was Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
They're making a new. So I went to a few movies, but I think it was the Avengers one. Anyway, the preview for a new Men in Black movie. But it was the new one.
The new one.
Yeah, it's not Will Smith no more.
Oh.
They've recast.
Oh, is it his kid, Jaden Smith or whatever?
I don't remember who it was.
Something
But it was
like
It was a new one.
No,
those Men in Black, though, there's real Men in Black stories out there that aren't so funny.
So going back to the X-Files stuff, that stuff's crazy, man.
So did you ever run into Art Bell out there in Nevada?
Yes, did run into him several times. Went to school with his nephew.
Was he just nuts?
I don't.
Or was he onto something?
Looking back, dude was onto something, man. Think about it. This guy's in what the 80s, 90s on AM radio.
He just recently died. Well, the weird thing about him too is he had these different lines. So I worked at a truck stop and I worked at like motels at night and some night shifts here and there, but some late shifts. And one of the best things to do, and it'd scare the crap out of you too, but you turn on the Art Bell because there's nothing else really on.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it's like it was on from like midnight to like 6 in the morning. It was some weird time like that from Pahrump, Nevada. And he had a number from east of the Rockies was this 800 number, west of the Rockies was this 800 number. And then it was like topic of the day, like if you're possessed by the devil or if you've seen a UFO, if you're from another planet. He had a special number for these people.
Oh, yeah.
And then if they called in, he'd put them straight on and he'd no nonsense talk to them. And who knows what was going on?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy was like in the 90s when the internet didn't really exist. And this guy was blowing it up. Like, think about it. He only had the power of his FM radio that only went, he had to pick up syndications and things. The crazy thing, and this is a friend, Craig, my friend, said, I didn't even know what a podcast is.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
I'm like, dude, it's AM talk radio that you can listen to anytime you want.
Well, that's the weird thing, because AM, like you're saying, FM, you had just limited range. With AM, you could go all over, and they picked up other things, but you could pick up. Anyways, if you had some Art Bell see if you'd have known, some T-shirts from Art Bell or something out there, those things would be worth a fortune.
He'd come into the Ace Hardware, because Ace, that's all there was. There was one store, Ace Hardware. But he lived on this place. He had like a big fence all the way around his property. It was down by the brothels. Yeah, it was just it was crazy.
When you can say big fence down by the brothels, you grew up somewhere just a little different than most folks.
Well, yeah, it was Pahrump, Nevada, man.
So was he kind of like just kept to himself? Did everyone know, like, oh, that's who that? I mean, in small towns, like, oh, that's Art Bell.
No, because it was. I mean, where I grew up was a small town, but it was huge. Like it was like
Pahrum's pretty good
30 miles from side to side, and like 10, 15 miles. It wasn't like your next door neighbor. Like when we moved to our street, there wasn't another house on the street. And this isn't like a little block. I mean, it's like a mile-long street.
See, the weird thing with Pahrump, getting the Pahrump talk, is I'd go there with my dad occasionally for things. They'd have, like, no business district, really. It could be, like, a neighborhood with a house and all this, and then, like, fast food restaurant or whatever, Ace Hardware, like you're saying, and then another house, and then there wasn't, like, districting or anything like that. So
I mean, eventually they got it.
I mean, I haven't been there for 20 years or so.
No, well, that's probably the last time the aliens were there.
That was probably, that might have been what drove
me. See, that's the problem. It's once this internet stuff.
See, now we're going to be on the internet. People talk about aliens. They're going to start, now our numbers are going to go up magically.
If you have any alien memorabilia, sell it on eBay.
That's a good thing to sell.
I just, the reason I kind of thought about it too is I was moving some stuff and I found my shirt that said Area 51 Security.
Is this one that you picked up off the Vegas Strip, or is this one from your hometown?
No, this is original. It says Pahrump right on it.
Well, but there's there's the Guns N' Roses Now shirt and Guns N' Roses in the 80s shirt, right?
Yeah.
One's worth a whole lot more.
It's true.
So if you got one down by the Mirage right now, whatever. But going back to when you were a kid, it might have some value to it.
I know, it's one of those keepers. So there you go. We
got rambling stories.
That is a rambling. But you got that hard tip coming in there. So thanks, brother. Appreciate the feedback. Now we're into the rambling that you're going to catch some good stuff.
The rambling stage. Hey, I got another thing about my cells. About when I was talking stores, right? The benefits and why we have stores.
Love them.
Cells. Right now I'm running a sale. You can go and put a discount on your items for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. I have a 30% off sale right now because me and the wife, we bought some things for the house. She's on vacation down with her family at Disneyland. Means we got some cash. We got some money going out. So we need to get some cash flow back in. So I got pretty much 90% of my store, you can go through item by item, whatever, and put them on sale. So I got,
That's why eBay is continually. If you haven't gone through the seller update, you really should. One cool thing they just started doing is now you can send offers to people who are looking at your items.
Yeah, last week I think that's what we were going to get into, and Cole ended up being able to come by, so we kind of shifted gears a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the seller update, we did the early seller update, so I thought, well, we kind of covered it, but they expanded a few things, and yeah, like you're saying, you can send somebody an offer, so you can get these random messages and stuff of like, hey, these items are in somebody's cart, lower the prices, right? Or, hey, this is going on here or there. But like you're saying, now there's the ability to say, hey, you're interested in this? I'll take $5 off. You want to pay, $70 instead of $75, or depending whatever you're selling.
See, I didn't know you could do that. See, that's a great thing for them to do, is saying, hey, you know what, baby? We've had this stuff listed for a long time.
And
Let's sell.
It's how hungry are you, right?
Yeah.
Are you cool with it? Like your McDonald's match, or
Yeah.
Matt, say that it didn't go auction. There's some value to it. You find another one. Hey, you'll let it sit for $200-$300 now, because there's someone out there that's going to pay for it.
Absolutely.
But maybe 2-3 years into it, you're like, hey, this just needs to go. It's not selling.
Yeah.
Drop the price, move the item.
And that's the best part. And the only way to make that happen is to list. You got to turn that death pile into your moving pile. And you know what it is? It's work.
It is work. Everyone thinks, because we talk and make it sound easy and fun. And that's the findings, the fun part.
Yeah.
But the actually listing and stuff, it's work. But if you average out, okay, what's the difference between listing something that costs $200 and something that costs $1?
There's nothing different.
It's the same amount of work, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to list 3 things, it's finding the item, obviously, I get that. But 3 things that cost $200 or 3 things that cost $1.
Yeah.
It's your time management. It's how much would you be making in that hour doing that. So some of that's when you're sourcing to remember, I have to make a profit on this. Even if it's a hobby, which I think a lot of people are doing this that are listening to us are kind of like part-time hobbyists. You still don't want to be losing money on this deal.
Sure.
So that's something to just remember as you're out there grabbing items and stuff. Yeah, the shirt might be $1. Is it worth $10, $15, or is it worth $2, $3?
It's work, man, but it's fun work. It like literally, we've talked a lot of death pile. We've taught a lot of items. The best part is now we're finally we're making some money doing this. But now we can include those expenses. So now essentially we're turning our Saturday, whatever afternoons, driving to a thrift store with my family, creating a family business. Shout out to the Egbert family.
The Egbert family of Lacey, Washington.
They're doing the same thing. And, it's teaching your kids something. Like my son wants to have his own eBay store.
Yeah. Are they kicking and screaming as you say, hey, we're going to go do some thrifting?
No, they're more excited about it than we are.
You're creating something they look forward to spending time with you guys.
And it is. It's not a pretend thing. It's a real business.
Yeah, it's not, we're opening up an lemonade stand. Let's go around the block while the kids are there and we'll come buy it for $0.25 from them.
Because now, you can sell something to Japan.
Because, your kid found the mat for $8.
Yeah.
It sold for $250.
$250
to somebody in Japan.
Yeah.
What's that teaching him about the world economy?
I need to sell more online.
More than what he's going to get in a textbook at
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know what grade he's in school, but
2nd grade.
So in 2nd grade, he already is understanding that there's a world economy, that something here might be worth $250 in Japan.
Yeah.
I don't think you touch that even in a high school economics class.
No, you don't even teach that in college. So
you're teaching him some stuff, and now he's got the hunger in him. He's got that self motor of, hey, I can make some extra money.
And here's the thing, he's in 2nd grade, 10 years of experience, he's going to know what he's doing. And that's what you're doing is you're teaching business sense, because now the more we get into it, now we're getting into inventory management. Now you're really getting it down. How much did I pay for the item? Hey, you sold it for $250, but that's a gross sale.
Yeah, you still got to ship it.
Yep, shipping it. Make sure
your supplies are in there.
We put $25 shipping. It costs us $31 because we shipped it. We shipped it a little quicker to make it nicer to him. But we also covered insurance on it just in case.
Sure.
That's one of the things that I had explained to him. You also had to say, well, how are we going to ship this? So I multitasked that. Do you want to know how we shipped it?
I am curious because it was about a 6 foot tall or wide mat, about 3-4 foot high.
It was 37 inches by about 6 inches in diameter.
I think we talked about it a little that day, but yeah, I was curious about how you did that.
Before you decide to sell an item, you better know how you're going to ship it.
Going back to that shipping episode, right?
Yes. So I thought I'd just go to the local, shipping store and say, hey, I need one of those tubes that, you put stuff in and ship it.
A shipping tube.
A shipping tube.
A working man's tube.
Oh, sir, we don't make them that big. I'm like, well, what do you mean your tube's not that big?
How big's your tube, sir?
My tube's only 3 feet long, 24 inches.
You have to Franken tube.
So I looked at it and I said, man, I gotta figure this out. Because even a place that I called, like, they didn't have one. I was looking and like a custom, it was gonna be like $30 to find something to ship it in. So I got creative, brought my tape measure with me to my local Walmart, went down aisle looking for boxes that would be the perfect fit. Found me a sound bar, one of those cool new sound bars,
Yeah.
Bluetooth things. We were going to buy one anyways, and I'm like, hey, instead of me spending $30 on a box, why don't I spend
a few hundred on a sound bar?
It was $100. It was only $100.
That's a good deal.
So I saved myself $30, so now it only cost me $70.
I thought you were going to say to the worker, which this is what I'd say to people who are like, well, we're not going to buy that.
Yeah.
You go to the person and say, hey, you got any of these in the back?
All right, that's a great idea, but I wanted the sound.
Yeah, no, you were buying it anyways. But
it was like
just
a sweet box. Like, it was on. It was like
just for the Egbert family out there trying to make it.
Shout out to the Egberts again.
Lacey Washington.
Love your note. No, it was like the box was custom made for it. Perfect. We even had like that nice styrofoam stuff that went around it. Man, it was awesome. Had a little handle on it.
And that guy gets that from hopefully global shipping can repack and stuff when it gets there. That's one of the things. But hopefully that gets there with love and care. And Mr. Guy in Japan is just so happy to have his mat nice and secure and is happy to do business with
and
you.
I'm so upset because you know what he did? He said, hey, do you guys have any other McDonald's memorabilia?
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. These people... These people, you get that. We were talking with Cole about people doing that with car parts and stuff. Once they find out they can trust you, you talk to them, you build that relationship. Hey, what else do you got?
The hard part is we said no, and then we told my son that, and he's like, what are you talking about? We have a McDonald's t-shirt that we found. Oh, shipping to Japan's not quite worth the t-shirt, but we probably could have thrown that in for
if the guy's willing to pay a little extra for some shipping.
It's true, but
they're going to cover it.
I would have loved to have double dipped on that shipping and just kind of rolled it up inside the mat.
Said, thanks, here you go, extra $20, whatever. That's the thing. Now you know when you're out looking, though, and you find a McDonald's thing, you got a guy that you say, hey, I found this. Are you interested?
Yeah.
And the instant sell.
There you go. Just building that relationship.
And that's what we do.
BTRing it up.
BTR.
Man, you're not going to believe this, dude. We're already halfway through.
I believe it.
That's what happened.
You thought I wouldn't believe it? I believe it.
The Ramblin' Man.
The Ramblin' Man podcast show.
Well,
we talk about aliens, Japan, McDonald's mats, feedback,
global shipping.
It's about there.
Almost. We need that feedback. We need that. We got to hit that conversion rate a little bit better, people.
If you're out there listening, it's not going to hurt you. I'll guarantee this. You are getting everything you pay for in this podcast right now.
100x.
You are getting every penny that you're paying for this podcast, you are receiving. So just give us a thumbs up or a 5-star review or say, these guys know what they're talking about. It will make our day. It will help us. The reason it helps us is you're all looking for podcasts. It comes up higher in the charts when you type in keywords or when you look down it says similar to what you're listening to. It just helps us get more listeners, helps us keep going, and that's all.
And we're not the polished guys. Like this, we hit the ground running. We're really doing this.
I mean, it's not, we're not on some, 3-letter big network that's broadcasting, producing it. Adam emails over the MP3 to me. I put a little music in there, try to edit it up a bit, and throw it on the internet. I don't really even edit it out that much. I mean, you've heard it. So, it's just two guys having a good time.
And it's real because, like I said, he's making money at this. I'm a real accountant. And I know how to take care of this. We just started because we had to do this podcast, and I can't say I'm doing it unless I'm not doing it.
The other thing is, you guys come up to us and tell us that you like it in person. Yeah, just go do it on the internet.
Yeah, come
and
on.
if you
now.
don't know how to do it, your kids do.
That's right.
Show them, and while they're at it, say, hey, you go ahead and do that for us too.
Let's hear another one of those marvelous commercials.
Oh, which one will we get? Well, I don't even know today. Who's going to be it? If you want to sponsor us, if you're tired of hearing Adam Beasley of Adam Up Accounting, you can send us a message.
The nice part is tax season's over. Hey, we'd love to take care of you.
You do more than just taxes around here.
We do more than taxes, but hey, we'd love to throw in hey, this is Cole from Cole's Auto Sales.
Maybe I'll advertise the Johnny Lingo store someday.
Yeah, you ought to do that.
If I ever get those big bucks.
You ought to do that.
Those big advertising dollars to throw out.
You have to pay our sponsors.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Well, let's just see who's advertising today.
Let's do that. Thanks for listening to Death Pile and Taxes. This is Adam, your tax man. If you're listening to this podcast, hopefully that means you're selling on eBay. There's lots of things that you should know, and that's what we're here to help you. At Adam Up Accounting, we give you all the insights of what you should be keeping track of, the things you can write off, and how you can help improve your tax business so that you can pay as little as possible, but enjoy spending those profits on things that make you happy. Check us out on our website at Adam Up Accounting. Bottom right-hand corner, you can chat with us right there. Thanks.
With the X-Files flying across from me there.
That wasn't the Unsolved Mystery music, was it?
Oh, no. Pluto, you got the Pluto channel. You up on this? There's a Pluto channel. Well, it's like an app that you can get for your Roku or whatever you're watching your TV on.
Okay, what's Pluto?
It's an app, and then you open it and it's got a bunch of TV shows available to you. They have an Unsolved Mystery channel that just plays all the old Unsolved Mysteries, like 24/7.
That would be scary.
So yeah, it's a little scary, and I had some childhood memories of going to bed with that thing going on, and I'm just scared to death. Like still on the. I mean, it'd be these scary stories, but then it's like murdered his family, heading out west, still on the run. We haven't caught him. Any tips? Let us know. And you're just like, I'm trying to go to bed, and there's a murder out to get me.
He was last spotted at the Flying J in Nephi, Utah.
Yeah, it wasn't quite that extreme, but it was like in the western states or something. I'm like, I live in the western states. I'm 8 years old. This guy's going to come kill me.
Well, that was back when you didn't have any other channels.
Yeah, there was no, I mean, I'm sure my parents just thought they were having just a good afternoon watching the show. Well, the kids went to bed. They didn't think nothing of it, but yeah, that might be why I like all the space aliens and Bigfoots and everything else.
One thing that we didn't have this week and last week, we haven't had Do 30. Trying to kick the habit, man.
You're kicking the habit. You're going to have old Waddy Man. Now you're going to have Waddy Man at you about that. He's a Do 30 man.
I'm hitting the Agua man.
You're doing the H2O 30. Hey, here's something. So since you beat Waddy on this, he gave me a little update, but he didn't sell him that for $250.
Well, yeah, that was a diamond in the rough. That was my MacGyver jacket.
Here's the odd thing about Waddy. So, like I said last week, there's something along the Facebook Marketplace, right?
Okay.
Which is smart because they live in a big city.
Yeah.
That you can get stuff. They're just going through cleaning out some stuff. He went on a date night the other night with his wife. He said to the thrift store. Smart man.
What a date night, man. Way to go, Waddy.
But here's the thing. I have two friends that I know of that don't have Facebooks. One of them is the briefcase.
Well, yeah.
The other one's Waddy, who tells me that he's selling on Facebook Marketplace.
How does he sell on Facebook Marketplace and not a...
Oh, I thought about that for a minute, and I realized his wife has one, so they're selling it through hers. But
I get it.
Yeah, so kind of odd, but new way to sell. Get that Facebook waddy. Except for, I'd probably rather buy from his wife than from him if I was looking at things. So
the internet literally has changed the world, man. Like, instead of you just hoping that somebody sees your garage sale sign, which, man, we were in the process of moving on Saturday, and it was like hotcakes, man. I probably saw like 20 of them.
And they're probably all good stuff. You're like, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good. We can't
And you
stop.
told me that there was this like once-in-a-lifetime community yard sale, which, how did it go, man? How'd the yardies do for you?
You know, I ended up with, we came over and visited you.
I appreciate that.
It was me and my little brother. I guess Aaron's been on the show.
Yeah, he's been on
We
the
were
show.
doing some chores and some stuff around the house, so I didn't even get out to any of them either. So I didn't get to revel in it.
And you know the best part? There's going to be just as many this next Saturday.
That's the thing. They're
the
always
Saturday
going
after.
during the summer months. You can't throw a dead cat and not hit a yard sale most places. So
Is that something you frequently do?
it's a phrase. You can't throw a dead cat and not hit X item.
I've never thrown a dead cat. I don't know what stuff you did in Nephi, but we didn't do that.
Why are you giving out all my backstory?
Well,
Growing up.
well, you throw out P-Town. I mean, we ought to.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean,
Fair enough.
I don't know what things happen at the big Nephi.
You've heard you can't. How many ways to skin a cat?
Never done that either.
Well, I'm not saying I've done it. I'm saying it's a phrase that you can't throw a dead cat and not hit whatever you're saying. A yard sale, for
Okay.
example.
Moving right along.
Just saying. There's a lot of yard sales.
There are tons, and there's going to be more the week after and the week after. And Facebook Marketplace has changed it because now, again, your base of people at a yard sale is so many people that can drive to there. On eBay, we just sold something to a guy in Japan.
Well, the other thing is, so there's always been like Craigslist and
Yeah.
these classified ads, but people gotta be looking for those.
Yeah.
When you're on Facebook scrolling around or something, it just comes
pops
like the
up.
marketplace is there, and then you,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. Then you start scrolling, and so you're going to the people. It's not the people seeking you out as much as you just show up in their feed sometimes.
And Facebook does what you want it to do. It does what they want it to do for
And there's
you.
a big algorithm somewhere in there, yeah.
You know what my algorithm's full of? It's nothing but thrifting. Nothing but thrifting.
Nothing but thrifting.
That's all I
That's
get.
what this guy's into.
That and our buddy Aaron graduating from college. Shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to Aaron.
Yeah, maybe he can fly me to Japan next
I'm
time.
hoping that I can start making enough money that, that will be the corporate jet. We'll just hire the kid and
So that's all I get.
Go get some places.
I get research all day long. If I'm looking at something, it says, hey, well, what about this? Or what about this? Or this is something that we sold. Or Bolo, which I didn't know what it used to be.
yeah, well, first time I brought that up to you, you thought it was like throwing a dead cat. You were like, what's this? I've never heard of BOGO. Buy one, get one, pay less. And I was patient with you. I'm like, no, friend, this is what it is.
Bolo, apparently those Fritos Flamin' Hot Atomic Balls.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Somebody on the group says, oh, it's too late in the game. So you know what she did? She found them and she sold them in 2 lates and said, put that in your pipe and smoke it, buddy.
The other thing, and this is getting to be too late, the Starbucks. Have you seen these Starbucks color-changing mugs that they brought out for the summer?
Just saw it today.
Those are apparently the Bolos.
Well, see, and there's a controversy because you are that Game of Thrones guy. Like, allegedly somebody accidentally left one of the Starbucks things in the movie, like in the show.
Gerald's going to be mad about the authenticity at this point.
Well, that's what they did. But
I'm
it's
surprised
like
he hasn't called and talked to me for a half hour about
that's
this.
all that they've been talking about. And somebody says, Starbucks threw it in there because, like, it's a hot topic.
Oh, yeah, it's good advertising if they did.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can't have them drinking it in the mid-ages or whatever.
Man, I've never even seen the show.
I don't know.
So-
But Gerald's having us over for the finale. You watch it every week with Gerald, remember?
Oh, yeah. So they had
You
the
don't wanna upset
guy,
him.
apparently
He knows where you live.
the giant guy, he's from Iceland or something.
Wait a minute, is this going to be spoilers? Do I have to say spoiler alert to people listening that may care?
No, this is on a 30 for 30 for ESPN. That's right up my alley. He kept trying to win the world's strongest man competition, and apparently he kept doing these things, and he is like the giant on
He's
Game of
the
Thrones.
big guy?
Yeah.
Well, they should have got a pro wrestler. I know plenty of giants.
That's true. Andre,
Shout out to Andre.
who's no longer with us.
I was trying to do it in a French accent. It didn't work too good.
Yeah. Don't make fun of the dead guy.
Andre was you know me.
I know.
Hogan and Andre, that's what brought me into the thing to begin with.
That's why
I've sold many Andre the Giant item on eBay.
So have you kept any for your personal collection?
So here's the thing that I've kept for the personal collection. And there's a few things I thought I would that I've sold. I have a Willie Nelson book that we picked up at a yard sale about a block from here.
Okay.
That I was just joking with my wife when she said, "Hey, Willie Nelson book." And I said, "Well, is it signed?" Opens it up. Not only is it signed, but he's drawn little cartoons in there. And she claims that she just saw him at Disneyland yesterday with his granddaughter. So we're big Willie Nelson people at the house.
We've seen Willie Nelson in concert together.
We have together. My wife once blew him a kiss, waved at him when we were at a concert, and he blew her a kiss at the Gallivan Center.
We were born in the wrong generation.
I know. Except for now we can sell it on eBay. So I've kept that, and then there was a religious leader that had a Christmas. It's like a Christmas book, but he signed it to a family, Merry Christmas from him, and I've kept that.
Wow.
But that's about my only two keepers that have been keepers. I had that wrestling shirt that we talked about, I think week 1 or 2, that went for $400. That was going to get signed and all that. I thought that would be a keeper, but I put a big high price on it and somebody wanted to pay it, so you know what? See ya. The Karl Malone jersey that we've talked about, I want to keep that, but it would be up for sale and the price is right, so.
We're going to get that story from Carl. We're going to get that authentic.
From Carl? You can go visit Carl?
I told you we ought to visit Carl. Karl Malone.
You can go down to Ruston. Is it Ruston, Louisiana, where he's at now?
He's down by La Tech.
He's got he's got stores. He's got a cigar shop. He's got a teriyaki joint. Apparently, Ruston. Yeah.
Man, that guy, he's
running that joint down there. But
real entrepreneur.
I'm still scared of Carl. I'm a big fan, but I think Carl wanted taking a fight. Carl could still take it. He's not like where you get even Shaq and Charles. You see them on the show, and they've kind of let themselves turn into more of somebody of my shape and stature. Not that they're not still 6 foot tall and strong or whatever. But
yes.
Carl could still go out and play. And some team could sign him. He could go compete right now in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can do it still.
He'd still be at a high level. So I don't know that I want to go down there with a jersey and wave it in his face. Because if Carl wants it, Carl gets it.
We'll have to figure that out. But one thing you touched on last week was this seller update. Why don't you give me some nuts and bolts of the seller update?
Well, we kind of went over it. If you go back to our episode about the spring seller update, a lot of it was covered in that. They've done a few different things. Everyone, like I said back in that episode, is things change or they do everything. This one seems to be more driven towards improving things for the seller, which is nice. It's usually for the buyer or has been. People always go skies falling and freak out on things. Especially if you're online, you'll just see people just go nuts about whatever.
It's because it's the 10% that complain the most, make the most noise is who you hear. The other 90% says, hey, that's great.
I mean, it's just things are changing. But one of the things that they've done that I'm liking on this one is the seller protections. And basically, I think we've talked about it. I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, is when you get those scammers and that kind of thing in there. Now there's an option that if you're getting scammed or somebody's just, being dirty to you or whatever, you can actually report that person to eBay. And instead of it going nowhere, potentially that person can be blocked or banned from the site. So if anyone's doing anything, kind of shady to you or against eBay policy or trying to scam you or what have you, just go ahead and report them. eBay will take care of that. They'll not only block the person or whatever they do, if it happens to enough people, it's probably not going to be a one and done type thing, but you can give them the heads up that this person's a little bit of a, I don't know, shyster.
A jerk,
or in your opinion, it's a jerk. Explain it to them. And say that guy goes on to leave you negative feedback or whatever. Now there's a way that, hey, you left this trail of clues when you were contacting eBay. We had this discussion, he was scamming, I went and do whatever, still bought it. Whatever the case is, there's all sorts of, it smelled like smoke, it was too small, I want to keep it, send me another one, I'll send you bad feedback, all this kind of weird stuff that can happen. They'll just remove the bad feedback, so. Maybe
another term for our Russian listeners, I'm not quite sure if I'm saying it right, and I don't want to offend anybody, but a durak.
Durak?
Yes, that's what I'm pretty sure the term is. Idiot, moron. That's what I've heard. Okay. One of our friends said it at a Bees baseball game to a girl who's from Russia. Man, she was not happy about it.
I don't know Russian. I wouldn't know a Russian girl if I was to see her.
Friend Briefcase taught us that one.
Durak, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you have any of them hitting you up at the Facebook or whatever, we're on eBay. I've lost my mind just trying to picture this story that I'm not sure. Was I there? I don't know.
It was Jimmy. He said it to some, it was one of those weird things. When we were there for the Andre Galarraga home run hitting contest.
You remember some weird
the AAA All-Star game.
I'm not sure if I was there.
You had to.
I probably was somewhere.
You must not have mentally been there with us.
Anyway, yeah. So that person hits you up and is trying to scam you. You can go ahead and just report them to eBay. They'll take care of it and can save other people that same heartache. So
we get rid of the jerky people. Make sure that we're not getting scammed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what else on that update?
What do we got? I don't know. Why don't you pull it up and read me some highlights and I can ramble off of what
they're talking about these growth tools like the seller enhancements, bulk pricing.
Yeah, that was kind of what we talked about on that same early update. Is you can go in and just edit your stuff a little easier. Growth tools. There's going to be more on. See, now I'm saying more on. There's going to be extra things on your main page when you go to your seller hub that you can get more information depending on what you're looking for on information, growth tools, the therapy coming in.
So here's a hot one: is the seller the payment management. And they're going away from PayPal and they're making their own. Is that?
Yeah. So what happened is they had a contract with PayPal that expired, and they said, you know what, we're just going to do our own thing with this. There's people testing it out now. There's some bugs and things they're working out. They're not just going to roll it all out at once. But one of the things they're implying that people can do Apple Pay, they can do Google Pay, straight from a debit card or credit card, so they don't have to go to another page. And they're working back into where PayPal can be an option.
Are you using it yet, or are you still on PayPal?
I'm not, because like what we were talking about earlier, one of the things that you can't do on it is global shipping right now. And I sell a pretty good amount of things globally, so I didn't want to exclude myself from that.
All right.
But I've talked to people at the meetup groups and stuff that are, I've heard some pretty good experiences, and it's going to get to the point where it's all integrated. I think by the end of it's either 2020 or 2021, everyone's going to be auto-enrolled into it. So it is coming. PayPal will be put back in it if it hasn't been already. And it will just give people more, the more options people have to pay quick, the better.
Hey, speaking of those meetings, isn't there like one I'm supposed to go to you on this next week?
Second Tuesday, man. Is that this week?
That's next week, my friend.
Well, that's where we'll be. On what's the date? Are you going to be around?
14th, yeah, man. We'll
okay, I know you're heading out of town here somewhat.
We still got a ways to that, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
heck yeah, man. Sign me up for that.
I'll give you some info if you're looking for a place to go. There's all sorts of meetup groups. I just Google the eBay meetup group in whatever city you live in, and there should be something near you.
Do you think we can? I signed up for the reserve list. It sounds like that eBay Open thing down in Vegas is pretty hot. They sold out quick.
They sold out way quick, so. I don't know. We didn't get in on time.
We'll have to see if we can get like a reserve seating or
maybe get in. I don't know. As of right now, we're not there.
Man.
Next year.
Maybe we see if we can get somebody who can pull some strings for us.
But yeah, so I mean the seller update, just go read through it. It's pretty much things that we covered. I'm trying to think of anything else that they kind of announced. They're telling a little more about some of the categories and what have you, but it's pretty much the same as the early seller update. They've just tweaked it a little more. So, but it's always good to go and read it, because when things happen, you need to know the rules of the game that you're playing, and you might have to call into eBay and explain to them what the rules are, because a lot of the agents aren't as up on things as us as sellers. So you gotta know what's going on.
Man, all I know is you're a smart guy. You dabbled in this a long time ago with your buddy Trent Hicks, selling a poster, and you've been doing this for a long time now, and you've made some real money with it.
We've done all right. I mean, you've been doing the taxes for the last few years, so you've seen the growth, and I think there's still plenty of open space for people. Come get on the train, and let's go make some money together.
Here's another, I guess, question mark that people have, and I see people post it, is at what point they talk about bringing somebody in to list for them, but here's the thing, like, I just can't see somebody wanting to do that.
That's a job.
I guess it's a job, but you got to find the right person. But if I'm going to go list for somebody else, I'd rather do it for myself.
That's the thing, and that's where you find different people. And I went back and forth with this and thought, do you just get some kid around, or do get somebody that, cause you want to kind of trust them with your stuff. You have to teach them the whole process of pictures and how much you want them to get into detail. You're giving them a device that can access your site. So there's a few things. Some people do it. There's different ways of doing it. I've thought about it. I've toyed with it. I haven't quite pulled the trigger yet because you can just process. If you have somebody doing, even 2-3 hours a day just listing, you can get a lot done. And then you can be on doing the buying or the shipping, the stuff that you might enjoy more. It's just so many different possibilities about that kind of stuff.
Well, here's the thing. You're not going to know unless you try. And it's kind of the same thing that we do with people with the accounting aspect. Because a lot of times people get their business and they think they can do it themselves, which is a good idea in theory. But once you get big enough, or once you're trying to grow, you're better at doing the things you're good at.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, too. That's what I've kind of thought as well. You train somebody, okay, you train them, they go do it themselves. Are you really creating competition? That's what I'm doing right here. That's what I've done with you.
No, you're not.
I mean, we're showing people how to do it. Not necessarily a bad thing. And then you got the people that just don't care, right? No. It's like the people I talk to. What do you do? Okay, any hobbies or whatever. What do you do for fun? I go to thrift stores and sell stuff on eBay. Oh, okay. Does that pay money? And you kind of tell them a little bit. And they're like, okay, cool, whatever. They don't care.
No, because they're not going to go do it.
So it's the same if you come up and say, I'll pay you $1 a listing or, $15 an hour, whatever you come up with, just to keep the person motivated. To them, it might just be a job. They come and do it. They go home and cool, where I work, they're making money off of the product that's being, sold. But I'm not getting into that business to do it myself. You work at the hamburger shop. They're making money off the hamburgers that are being sold. There's people there flipping them. But they're not thinking I'm going to go open my own, drive-through sometimes. So
we've got a lot of meat and potatoes in this episode, but I'm hungry for some dessert, buddy.
You want some dessert?
I need some dessert. I need something good. Entertain me.
Well, here, so I got my notes, right? Because I forget more things than...
I know.
So I'll be throughout the day, I'll just pull out the phone and somebody will look, and if they know me, I'll just get ready for the pod card, and if not, they just think, I don't know what that guy's doing. So I told you I went to the movies the other day, right?
All right, went to the movies.
The Big Adventure movie.
Did you take Trevor Hooper with you and eat, outside candy in that?
He'd probably go fisticuffs with people now. That was when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Imagine him now and all of his...
hey, I don't want to mess with that guy.
I never wanted to mess with that guy. Now Trevor Hooper's a pretty big guy. Pretty big kid.
Yes, he is.
We had a bigger kid at school that was I don't know. In my head, he was 7 foot tall.
He probably was.
He was a big kid.
He's probably realistically 6'5".
Well, Trevor Hooper, but this guy's bigger than Trevor Hooper, and he was older, so he was more stout. Anyway,
filled out.
We were in the locker room, and for whatever reason, this kid decided. I'm just telling Trevor Hooper stories now. This kid decided that him and Trevor Hooper were going to go fisticuffs, and it was after school. I think there was a volleyball game or something we were at, and we just went to the locker room because you had to go use the facilities or whatever. And for whatever reason, this bigger guy's like, okay, it's go time. And we hadn't even smarted off to him or nothing that I recall. And me, being my guy, fight or flight, it's like, let's get out of here. This guy's going to mop the floor with us. Not Trevor Hooper, right? So he's nose to nose, let's go. And I'm like, no, let's break it up, fellas. I don't know. No. So anyways... It de-escalated with whatever. Maybe some other people came in, and we were going. I'm like, dude, he would have mopped the floor with us, right? You're crazy. And he was like, oh, yeah, I know. I'm like, well, why were you still going? Because I'm not going to back down from anyone. I don't care. This is Trevor Hooper mindset. I do not care. I'll just go down with the ship. He's a captain, right?
He is the captain.
So, yeah, movie theater now, the kid probably would have got a fist to the face.
Middle name Morgan.
And I don't know how much Captain Morgan either of them had at that time. But, so we're at the movie theater.
All right.
And you know how now you can't just sit and wait for the movie to start. They have to have the little advertisements and this and that and the trivia. And
maybe we can get what our podcast in there.
Maybe. That's not a horrible idea. Listen, then show them how to download it.
That's right. You throw out 20 and one of them.
Somebody's going to do it. So the questions have got dumber. I think people have got dumber as a society. It used to be trivia, who did this, or that, who's this actor, and it'd be a muffled thing.
Scarface.
And you'd be like, yeah, well, that's obviously, Ben Stiller or whatever. Or this quote's from this movie. You're like, oh, that's E.T. or whatever. It said, and I'm sitting here and I'm watching, what is a director's job? And turns out they direct the movie was the answer.
Wow.
Yeah. So What does a director do? They direct. Nah, I don't know.
Wow, what our society has come to.
And then I was in for the ride of my life. Have you watched any of those movies yet?
What movies?
The Avengers. You need to take your kid and just go $5 Tuesdays.
No.
You got the Netflix. Get caught up. He'll thank you for it.
There's too many other things out there. Like, I get it. I get the entertainment value. But real life is more entertaining to me than fake life.
Yeah, but I'm learning things to sell. So now I know what's happening in this series. It's like my wrestling. And then I'm like, okay, this is a hot item because this happened in that movie.
I understand. I was just reading a book about Babe Ruth.
And I get to write off going to the movies to you because I'm in there doing research.
Did you know that Babe Ruth got shipped off to a home because his parents couldn't handle him?
Sounds like some people I know.
Yeah. And then he had to go
Was he just a rambunctious kid or what?
Yeah, like he was breaking windows down at the locomotive yard.
He's a little hooligan?
Yeah, and his mom and dad says, nope, you're done.
Did they take him back, or did he just kind of go on the line?
I don't know. I haven't got that far in the book.
Well, yeah, now you got me wondering.
I bought it at the thrift store.
You and Waddy are the baseball guys.
75-cent book.
Takes too long.
You see, you're one of those millennials. You're that instant gratification, man.
Not instant, but if I'm going to be watching a baseball game, I'll watch the occasional. But
I was talking
4 hours later, it's 1-0.
I was talking about reading the book.
Guys fouling balls back for the last 15 minutes.
I get it. I know baseball's got to do something.
They got to do something, but I guess I'm not the demographic, so I'll go to if I'm in town and there's a ball game, I'll go.
Yeah.
Just to have that experience, but I'm not going to be watching it every night. So.
No, so no Avengers movies for us.
Well, someday your little son's going to grow up and say, Dad, why didn't you do this for me? Of course, I've never watched Star Wars or the Lord of the Rings movies, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Never watched that, never read Harry Potter.
But now I'm thinking I've cheated myself a little bit. Maybe I owe it to myself to go back and do it.
So here's the thing. How many of those people have watched professional wrestling?
It depends when you were born. They've had peaks and valleys. Early 80s, late 90s, that's about it.
Well, I know. All right, entertain me. What else you got on your notes?
Oh, let's see what we got. Well, guess what I sold today?
What did you sell today?
It's your favorite item that I sell.
Peanuts? Peanut M&Ms?
You love those peanuts that I sell? Is that what you're after?
Peanut M&Ms. The jalapenos?
No, but my wife did buy some of those for Cinco de Mayo, and we've been chomping on them.
Did you buy them off the eBays?
No, we bought them. I got a store where I know where I can get the big bags.
You never told me where the store was.
Exactly. Wow. And now they still have the big bags.
Got the big bags. Man, I've been looking.
And I think I know a place where I got those flavor shots. Pretty sure I can go pick up some of those.
What flavor shots?
You told us earlier on the Bolo.
Oh, the Flamin' Cheeto Atomic Fire ones?
I'm pretty sure I saw some the other day at a place, and I was going to buy them, and then I thought, maybe the wave's over. I think I might go buy them.
Wave's still hot.
It's about 40 miles from here. Let's see. What did I sell, Prumpy?
I don't know. What did you sell?
I sold $70 worth of licorice today.
You and that licorice.
Family show. Come on now.
You and that licorice.
Yeah.
Sassafras.
Sassafras.
You sold more licorice.
I sold $70. $70 worth of key lime, Twizzler, special edition, 2 years old, licorice.
2 years old. That's insane to me.
And so the other day, here's something that never happened to me before, too. So yesterday, I sold just one thing of the same licorice. I'm about out of it, actually. I need to go back and see if they got any more at the place I got it from, the MPS store in Salt Lake. For, I think it was 89 cents a pack.
Man, so you just opened up my eyes what I should be looking for.
Well, there's just always something to be looking for.
We haven't even gone in that section.
Yeah, well, you can find all sorts of great things in those sections. In the Salt Lake one, the one
I gotta go.
Right. I gotta make a run. The people, the owner has a spot for messages to you can send a message to me, basically, the person.
Yeah.
They want me to write a note that said, to whoever and whoever, Happy Mother's Day from Remembering Florida Times, or something like that, from Gene and Earl, or whatever. I've never had that happen before. So I just copied and pasted the message and put it on I just printed it off. I didn't do anything too special and put it right in there and
That's just...
shipped it off to Minnesota. I thought, well, if you're going to pay me this kind of money for a bag of licorice, I can do that for you.
I can make a note saying, thanks, Gene. Remember our day at that nice Airbnb in Miami, Florida?
I'll tell you what, though. Yeah, that was a whole other... If you're ever down in that area of the Key Lime, of the Key West and all that, stop at the Blonde Giraffe.
Oh,
that was the best key lime pie I've ever had. You can Google it. It's well known, but the Blonde Giraffe. And I'd shout out to them because I was selling licorice on the internet. I could afford to go get the real thing in Florida.
Man, look at that. It's gonna sound crazy, but you can really make money. We have, and I didn't even know about this a couple months ago. It's insane.
And so here's another thing that came up. I'm just going through these hyperdriving, hoping that Brother Beasley's good with us at this point.
Oh, we're good.
Hasn't tuned out. No, I meant your brother.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't going to give his government-issued name.
Well, let's just call him Roberto.
Roberto? Hoping Roberto's good because we're on the rambling story part of
yes,
the
Roberto.
thing. But this is all eBay-related as well.
Oh, it is.
I've had this come up a few times before. Do you feel bad for what you are doing?
Absolutely not. Why would I feel bad about buying and selling
because you go to a thrift store where these items are supposed to go to the poor and needy. You take the stuff off the shelf and you're selling it for a profit to somebody else.
Oh, that's what every place in America does. Like, how do you think you buy something at Walmart? Somebody made it. There's a middleman. Somebody makes money on it.
But it wasn't donated to go help a needy person, per se.
It's not. It's to create a job for somebody to pull it out of the shelf and put it on there. That's where the donation comes from.
The way I see it is we're saving things because after this point it goes to the landfill.
Yeah.
And gets just... we got a problem in America with overproduction.
Oh, goodness sakes.
But also, it is a job for somebody. And the money that goes to... I mean, some thrift stores are for profit. And some are donations or whatever. But the actual money is going to the same cause. I think the money's actually being funded to the cause because I'm purchasing.
Yeah.
And, and it will go to help.
It just keeps going back and back and
Whatever
back.
the thrift store, there's usually church-ran ones that might be with some sort of a food bank. It might be some sort of a third world country charity type thing. But a lot of people have said, that question, do you feel bad about
why
doing this?
Why should, it's not like literally what happens is I go down the shirt aisle. There's like 350 of them down one little aisle. I might pull out 5 that I think are good. You know what? There's still 345 for somebody else.
And I'm not taking them out of that person's cart.
No.
Or I might be chasing them down the hallway saying, hey, do you want to sell that to me?
Yeah, who wrote you that?
Oh, this is just through the years, right? I've had this come up multiple times.
Well,
do you feel bad about this? Do you
I
have
know
any sort of guilt?
You catch some real flack when you're on these indoor yard sales during Christmas time.
The eBay. So we talk about the marketplace, and there's also the indoor yard sales. So on the marketplace, people can message you, but usually don't. On the yard sales, you're light targets. So I'm actually banned from where I grew up, the Nephi indoor yard sale. I am banned. I don't know why. It was sometime during that Christmas. I've been banned, and I can't be relisted from their indoor yard sale.
So if people don't know what the indoor yard sale is, it's just like what it sounds like.
Oh, everybody knows. I mean, they might have different names, but...
Yeah, it's on Craigslist or whatever, but...
Well, no, even on Facebook. Yeah. I think every community has some sort of a neighborhood yard sale or town yard sale group.
So our buddy D-Roy does the same thing. Intelligent, finds some items that are usually the hot Christmas item for the next year.
Which I'm usually finding out about September, October-ish, right?
Yeah. So you're finding out what's going to be
doing the research. I know what your kids want before they do.
Yes. So you go in and you buy the item. And here's the thing. There's not a lot of them out there. They keep the supply low because then they can drive the prices up. It's Adam Smith's law of economics.
Well, supply and demand, exactly. And sometimes, like last year, there's been a couple of years where it's been supply and demand, and there's been a sure winner, and that goes that way. And everyone wants this item. Last year, the demand kind of evened out. At first, there was a real big supply and demand, and then production ramped up on. There was the Poopsie unicorn. there's a few different things. The Hatchimals kind of came back in again. They had some
the LOL dolls.
LOL dolls was still a good one. That was still good. I'm trying to think of what a few of the other ones were. But anyway, a few of the items that started off really, really hot about, early October, November-ish. By the time we got to December, market had just been saturated, and you could go to Walmart and pick it right off the shelf. So I had to do some discounting just to liquidate. But another thing, so retailers, and this is why retailers hate resellers, I guess I'll be honest with you, and this is the first time I've ever had to do this. January-ish, I was going through and finding my receipts. Most of these places have a 90-day return policy.
There you go.
And I just went and unloaded and said, I need my money back. This crap didn't go, basically.
That's a great idea.
It kind of is, but I think that's why the Target hates people like us. Walmart's changed their policy quite a bit. They used to have an online match with like Amazon and everyone because they get those competitive matches, but they restricted a lot more of their return policies or their price matching, that kind of stuff, because of somebody goes in and buys a bunch of those eggs like we were talking about, and they don't sell. You bring them back and like, I need my $500 back or whatever. Yeah. It can ripple effect if you think about how many Walmarts are across the nation.
The cool part about this is we're 17 episodes in, plus the bonus, plus the one that we did pretend.
You can't count the pretend one, man. That's in our head. That might have been the best one ever, but that was the practice. We had to practice.
But I'm going to be like, as the show evolves, because like it says, there's constantly going to be improvements. I'm still really fascinated by this online retail arbitrage.
Oh, I'll tell you. So we're talking about this. This is something that had to do with the update too that I guess we missed, but drop shipping, right?
Yeah, I know we've talked about that.
When I started on eBay, one of the things that got me is that you could just drop ship. So I would go to, I don't know if this was in the Pretend show or one of the first shows. I'd go to Walmart.com. I'd find some item that I thought would be a good item, and I'd just list that on eBay, and I'd bump up the prices, and then I had free shipping because I made sure all that was included. A lot of the things I would do would be the Fisher Price bounce castles for whatever reason.
Yeah, I remember that.
And birthday parties and stuff, and I was selling those, but the price would fluctuate, and it got to be kind of almost too big of a pain. Another thing I would do is I would go on Amazon, and I'd just find something on Amazon, and I'd do the same thing. I'd drop ship it over on eBay, so I'd raise the price $20, $30, whatever, depending on the item, and people would buy it, and I'd ship it from Amazon straight to them. Well, with this update, eBay, with their drop shippers, they're rolling out, I don't know if it's a hard rule or an official rule, they don't want you doing that with other competitors, because if you buy something on eBay and you get a box from Amazon, it's going to be confusing to the person buying it, right?
Gotcha.
So they said that they're going to lower that kind of thing in search rates, but I'm not sure. They first were saying it was not going to be allowed.
Yeah, but
and then they're doing that. But hey, that's something. If you have a small apartment somewhere and you say, I can't do this, you can figure out there's other places to drop ship where you just buy wholesale, but
there's other things you
can figure this one out. So that was one of the things that I was, doing right there at the beginning, and it made sense at the time. I mean, you can find anything out there, and you're the middleman, right? So you mark it up a little bit, and
that's what everything in America is. That's what everything in the world is. Except I did realize, like, you watch these shows and you see these other countries and how bad they have it. It's so easy here, man. We got running water, I got air conditioning, I got heat, I got more stuff than I could ever want.
Well, I don't want to run down our good turkey listeners, but we got opportunity, right?
Yes, we do.
I don't know what they got. Turkey, I'm sure they got some products they can sling on the internet.
Yeah.
And, you hear some stuff with the UK people or even the Canada people and stuff. Some of the stuff's a little more restricted. Here we got pretty much free reign. You have the opportunity to, if you want to do it, you want to go out, you want to outwork, out-hustle people, do it.
And the best part is, you know what? You think you pay a lot in taxes, but you really don't.
Well, I mean, like you're listening to here, you got write-off opportunities, so...
Yeah. I mean, you might pay a couple $1,000s, but then you think of all the amenities that you have, like, holy cow. Like, be grateful for what you got, people.
Well, if you're willing to work, I mean, that's the thing. Like we were saying, if you're willing to do the work, you get the reward. If you get to the point where you can hire somebody to do the work, even better.
That's the best part. The more you work, the more you pay. Not in taxes, but you get to pay to yourself.
And if you're pricing right, the more you're making, right?
Absolutely.
So you don't want to make it to where you're just almost breaking even and you're doing all that hard work. Because, you're burying yourself. You're making yourself an old sweatshop and you come home from work just to do more work and you don't get ahead. But if you get to where you can actually make a bit of a profit.
That's right. And use it.
You can use it to get ahead or have some extra money to do some things.
Use those funds to go see Goofy.
Go see Goofy or go see a movie.
Oh, there you go, Mr. Avengers. Well, what do you think, bud? We got a couple more minutes left. You got any gems, jewels?
I got another, man. You're taking all my goods.
Well, I like to.
So here's something I noticed, and it's something that I've tried to do a little better with, but I think it's good for people that start. So when you're writing a title to your item,
yeah.
those are your keywords. You get so many keywords in that space. But a lot of people put like the abbreviations, and I'll do the same, like new with tag. Instead of typing that out, you put NWT.
I don't know what that means.
Or, you'll lead with
NWO, New World Order.
Now I'll do that because people are looking for that.
Yes.
But you got to think like your person that you're buying it, right? Somebody that's just looking for a shirt is not going to put NWT. They don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Or they're not going to say, start off with like this chair is, new 6 foot tall, 3 foot, whatever dimensions. You're going to put red chair, and then fill it in. So when you're doing your listings, you want to think like the person that's actually looking for the item.
6.5 foot rare vintage McDonald's rug.
Well, that's the other thing. So it is rare, but when you're typing for things on the internet to search, this is one that gets overused, and I use it a lot too. Are you putting in rare as you search for something?
If you're a Japanese collector, you're looking for rare McDonald's.
Or are you looking
stuff.
for McDonald's matte 90s plate, whatever it was called?
It depends. That's the thing, is it all depends.
And then the order that you're putting it in, too. It all matters because it's going into your search ranks, your SEO that goes out everywhere.
And most of the time, that's the best. Most of the things you're selling, there's probably somebody who's already sold it on the internet.
For the most part.
So you can literally copy and paste what it was.
And a lot of people do.
And
That's
it does.
what they do.
But that's the thing, is you want to look at it, and it doesn't matter what somebody listed something for, it's what it was sold for.
So here's something. So a lot of people
Look on the solds.
So look on the solds. But let's go back to the M&Ms, right? Everyone was selling the same M&Ms that we're selling. I've been selling. So I don't want them to search and have 20 things come up with the same thing.
Yeah, I gotta have mine.
I gotta tweak those words a little bit so that if they put in this phrase, they're gonna find mine. Yes. So instead of just putting the same thing, copy pasting what 20 other people have done, I'm gonna put the same information. I'm either gonna put it in a different order. I'm gonna think, how would I type this out?
Yeah.
How would I think about this? And hopefully that puts me closer to the top and/or in the world on my own.
You are a world in your own, buddy.
So my NWO Wolfpack tank top, woman's large. I'm not just going to copy and paste what it was on the WWE clearance site that I bought it from. I'm going to type it and put it in my own words so that I'm not competing with them necessarily.
And you got some good stuff. You're always full of bolos.
So get out there, get buying stuff. If you can find your Starbucks cups, rumor has it they're next week or the week after they're restocking. So it might be a Christmas. This is kind of the Christmas feel of get it out there and get it listed before, because if you're holding on to them and the supply comes back up, you just got you a bunch of mugs. Sell
it when it's hot. So, hey, buddy, man, you always bring some good stuff to this show.
So, okay, I gotta ask you this. Now, did when you got your new house and it wasn't owned by anyone that was famous for being in any shows or anything in the 80s. I know.
What you talking about, Willis?
Was there any items that were left behind that you could sell on eBay from...
They were really good. They cleaned it out. There was nothing that I could...
Oh, I was hoping there'd be... Not that there'd be memorabilia from anyone famous from the 80s.
No.
Or, making those Comic-Con rounds or whatever. But...
I can share this information because I really do know a guy who worked on Gary, who, heaven forbid, he has passed. Coleman.
Heaven forbid he has passed Coleman. Gary, heaven forbid he has passed Coleman. I don't know why that tickled me.
We lost another good one.
That was the same day I moved into the town. He wasn't big enough for the both of us.
Kenny Rogers song. Apparently he was into cats.
Okay.
construction guy, do his taxes. He went in and built catwalks for him all throughout the house.
So how long did it take you to take all those out?
I don't know, because I don't live there, pal. You've been to my house. You know there was no catwalks in there. No, really, he had catwalks all over in there. You want to hear the other controversy?
Oh man, you better say alleged, because I know where you're going. And I'm not saying it.
Well, allegedly, there may or may not have been an accident down some large flights of stairs.
All I know is that if Robert Stack was still doing Unsolved Mysteries, who Robert Stack unfortunately has passed as well, there could be a Gary Coleman episode of all the alleged controversy that may have went on with his death.
Heaven forbid. And all we're saying is, again, going back to that, we pull everything together. Everyone's going to die. And if they got some cool stuff, you know what? Get that memorabilia and sell it when it's hot.
Did we talk about that estate sale last week? Or was that this week?
We'll have to talk about it next week.
We didn't talk about the Chris Jericho estate sale?
No, I said that to you. We haven't talked about it yet.
Man.
But estate sales are great, especially for dead people.
He's still alive. I've bought several items. If you get to 68 likes, I can tell you about an estate sale of somebody that I bought all my good items from and go into detail
There's
about that.
There's just so many opportunities. The two things that are certain is people will die, and they'll have to pay taxes, but they all got a bunch of stuff.
Man, that's like three things you just said there with our two things for certain. I'm lost.
We're to that point.
People, Adam Beasley will say people will die.
Roberto's cutting us off.
You'll have to. Roberto, I don't even know Roberto.
Remember, that's the code word for my brother.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, okay.
Remember?
So many code words, so many things to remember.
That's true.
All I know is there's two things in life that are for certain, my friend.
That would be DeathPiles
and taxes.
Can we go thrift shopping?
What? What?